text to column, text to column, text to column. So for text to column, it's actually a very simple procedure. But when we're talking about analysis, there are some certain things that you want to do or get done, okay, that you might not be able to do depending on how your data is structured. For instance, I want us to look at this data. Okay, so I think we can all agree on one thing, that it is not properly structured and it needs to be put into different columns. This data that I have here is a data in a CSV format. What is a CSV? Comma separated values. Okay, comma separated values formats. Okay, comma separated values formats. All right, and what does it mean? It means each value in that data is separated by comma. Now, one quick thing to notice is that you would see that those values are in one cell or in one column. If I click on any other cell outside of column A, you will see in my formula bar that there's nothing there. It doesn't matter on which cell I click on. There is nothing there. Everything I am seeing is in column A. It is just spilling over. Okay, so it is in different rows in column A. All right, now I can see that it is separated by a comma. In the first row, I have employee ID, first name, last name, gender, age, business travel, department. Those are like the column headers, isn't it? Those are the column headers. Okay, so I'm meant to split the column headers into various columns and then associate their data with it. But one thing I quickly notice here is that each value is separated by a comma. Now that comma is called a delimiter. What is a delimiter? A delimiter is simply any character, okay, that separates each value in a given text or string or data. Okay, so your delimiter could be an equal to sign. It could be a colon sign or a semicolon or a tab or even space or even a letter that is separating each value, as long as you see that it is reoccurring. Okay, it is recurrent, then you know that, oh, this is most likely your delimiter. Okay, so for me to be able to analyze this, if I ask you what is the average age in the data, for instance, now I have a column for age, or I'm meant to have a column for age. Okay, you can see how the data is just going all about, isn't it? So if I ask you what is the average age, you cannot perform average of the age column because there is actually no column for age. Everything is just disorganized, isn't it? Or if I ask you what is the average salary, you won't be able to give me any response because you cannot analyze this data until you split it open into different columns before you'll be able to analyze those columns. So how do you do that? Very quickly, you need to highlight the column where you have the data or highlight the range where you have the data. Remember I said it is only on the first column. Okay, at times it could be that, oh, you want to split it on a different column. Just highlight wherever it is that you have the data, and you can only highlight one column to do your text to column. Okay, so if you're highlighting, highlight column. Once you highlight, go to your data tab. Under your data tab, you click on text to columns. Text to columns. Once I click on text to columns, you see delimited. Okay, delimited is saying that, oh, what I have in this data, I'm having comma separating each value. Okay, so if this is what I'm going with, or not only comma, it could be any character. So I have a particular character that is separating each field or each value. So I click on delimited and I'll click on next. Now, what is that character that is separating each field or each value? It is a comma, isn't it? Not a tab. So I'm going to untick tab and I'll say my delimiter is comma. I will tick comma. As soon as I tick comma, do you see my data preview pane? It's telling me that this is how your data will look once we are done. Now you can see that it is now in different columns. What if I untick comma? It goes back to the normal. But once I tick comma, what this is saying is that anywhere you see comma, split the value before it into a column and the value after it into the next column. Okay, so I tick comma and then I'll go ahead and press next. Okay, and then I'll click finish. So you see how that works easily. Do you see that? You see how that works easily.
Drop your questions in the comment section. Thank you.